All right, and we are back. Welcome. Happy Friday, everyone. We're going to be continuing off. We're continuing where we left off yesterday. If you've got the MPC X started up already, that's great. If not, please turn it on. And we're going to be loading up my first project and continuing on from where we left off. We've got some new followers. I'd like to shout out DJ Whisper 1984. He has an awesome stream where he plays music, and I've been following him for a number of years now. He was somebody I used to listen to during the pandemic when I was home alone, and I'd go in there and chat with people and hang out, and it was a lot of fun. So I was in his stream again last night, and he was able to promote my channel a little bit, so I've got a few more followers, which I'm really grateful for. So thank you, DJ Whisper 1984. If you can, please go to his page and follow and subscribe. I'd like to shout out also to Newbology, who started following, and Pa Renfrew, all new followers that I'm super grateful to have because I want to grow this channel. So if you know anybody with an MPCX or have an MPC of some kind and you want to learn how to use it better, I'll be here every single day, 10 to 11 a.m. And if you can support in any way, with the bits or the donations or tips or however it works, I'll try and get all that stuff set up in time. But whatever you can do to help support the channel, or just jumping in the chat to chat with other viewers, is really appreciated. So let's get back to the MPC X, where we were yesterday. Okay, looks like I don't have it loaded up here, so just a moment. And I will open it up again. Hopefully it jumps back to where we were. Yes, alright. So we've got my first project loaded up. And alright, so what we're doing today is we're going to be right now varying the vinyl crackle with round robins. Select our vinyl crackle pad A16. Let me turn on the sound here, get my speakers started up, turn on the volume. Okay. And we'll try that again. Yeah, I hear the vinyl crackle. Okay, so currently we just have a single vinyl crackle sample on this pad, but it's possible to set up a pad to randomly play a different sample each time the pad is struck. This functionality is often referred to as a round robin. To set up a round robin, we first need to assign our additional vinyl crackle samples to the spare layers on pad A16. From the project sample pool, assign the samples Vinyl Crackle 2, Vinyl Crackle 3, and Vinyl Crackle 4 to layers 2, 3, and 4 respectively. You can do this in Samples 2 by selecting the 4 layer tabs and assigning the 4 vinyl samples there. So it looks like I had the Vinyl Crackle 1 set up on layer 2, but what I wanted was actually Vinyl Crackle 1 set up here, Vinyl Crackle 2 set up there, Vinyl Crackle 3 set up there, and then we'll put Vinyl Crackle 4 set up there. Okay. Now you could have also done it in the samples 2 screen using the drop down right there on the side. Whichever way you prefer, depending on what you're working on. It may be easier just to do it from this screen. So if you play pad A16 now, you'll just hear all 4 crackle samples play together in unison, which is the default playback option for any pad. Okay. Interesting. To change this, go to the global screen. In the middle of the page, you'll see the layer play option, which is currently set to velocity. Play set to velocity. Change this to random and start hitting pad A16 repeatedly. Okay. Random play is now randomly playing back only one of the layers each time the pad is hit. Alternatively, you could set the layer play to cycle. This will cycle through the layers in numerical order. Cycle should be used when the order of playback is more important. In both cases, if a layer is left empty, the MPC will simply ignore that layer and just cycle between the filled layers. Now, play the other drum pads, and thanks to the Vinyl Crackle pad being set as their simultaneous play pad, each time you hit one of the drum pads, you'll get a different Vinyl Crackle sound playing in the background, giving a more natural sounding vinyl emulation. With pad A16 selected, head over to Envelopes and use the amp envelope decay. To smooth out and tighten the Vinyl Crackle samples so they don't end so abruptly. A large D-shaped value works well here. You could also change the attack setting to add a very small amount of fade in to the vinyl crackle, just so the crackle blends in with our drums. Here's the envelope I used. Okay, so it looks something like that, but looks like they had the attack set to 32 and the decay set to 83, and the D shape that was at minus 25, the A shape, and the D shape is set at 54. So I'll follow along with what they're doing there. Sounds good. Another parameter we can control is the overall volume of this vinyl crackle in relation to the rest of the kit, because at the moment I feel it's way too loud. Now, we could reduce the level parameter for each individual layer in the samples 2 screen. Right there. But as we want to reduce next chapter, which will give us the most optimized way to adjust pad volumes in our kit. But for the moment, we can easily tweak the volume of our entire pad using the level parameter in the global screen. We'll put that at minus 20.4 is what they had it set at. Okay. Reduce the level of our vinyl crackle pad so that the vinyl crackle is less overpowering. I prefer textures like this to be very subtle, so I set mine to minus 20.4 decibel. The crackle is there, but it's not dominating the kit. Of course, you can adjust this to your own taste, and if you just don't like having any crackle at all, you could just set the level to minus INF dB. But we'll look at a better way of completing muting a pad in the next chapter. You can load up the version of this kit from the 06 folder. So from the 06 folder, it's called Shadow Kit Layered.xpm. So I'm actually going to go to an empty sequence. And I'm going to load it in there. What? Shadow Kit Layered is in there? Okay, let's take a look. Oh, there it is. Boom. Okay, so We'll check out some of the more advanced drum layering techniques later in the book. We'll also take a look at how we can use the velocity type of layer playback when we build a multi-sampled acoustic drum kit. Next up, let's tweak our drum kit even further with some more program parameters and effects. I'm just going to take a quick 2-second break and take a sip of water. Hello to all that are joining. Thank you for being here. I'm just going to jump in the chat for a second. After you've been here for 10 minutes, you can jump in the chat. Please chat with the other users. X and in the studio and learning together. All right. Now adding program edit to the pull-out shortcut menu. You'll probably find yourself using program edit quite frequently, so it's probably a good candidate for including in the pull-out shortcut menu, especially if you have an MPC model that doesn't have a physical program edit button, such as the MPC Live. To do this, go to the menu screen and press Edit, or hold down Shift and keep it held down. Go to the menu screen and press Edit. Okay, I'm not sure what they mean by that. They mean hit program edit, right? Okay. Or hold down Shift and keep it held down. I'm not sure. Okay, and then I can just drag it over there, I guess. Program edit. What, you're gonna replace track view? Okay. I see. Alright, cool. So you can move them around like that however you like. I guess program edit is a good one to have on the side menu from what they're saying, but whatever you feel comfortable with, really. There's many ways to access it through the MPC X, so not really a big deal. Now you can simply drag program edit shortcut over to the far left hand column, which I just did. While you were there, you could perhaps add some of your other favorites. Now you can access these shortcuts from any screen by pulling out from the left side of the page. Okay, so let's see. If I go to main, I just pull out like that. Okay, you got the main ones that you want available just like that. Very cool. All right. Moving on. All right, so we're all done with the drum layering chapter. We're now at chapter 7 for anybody that doesn't know, if you're just joining for the first time, what we're doing is we're going through the MPC X Bible. Please download it if you have an MPC X, and you can follow along. Get the tutorial files set up on your MPC X, and that way you can load the same files and follow along with the tutorial as we go through it. It's a lot more fun to learn together, so if you have any questions or have any comments, please put it in the chat. I'll answer all the questions I can, or we'll try and figure it out together if I don't know how to do it, because some of this stuff is brand new for me too. So yeah, if you can, please support the page any way you can. I'll try and set up more extensions and things to do on the channel that you can have fun with while watching, but for now I believe there isn't a whole lot of setup, but I think there might be like some bits and stuff. I'm not sure how that works yet, but please jump in the chat and comment and engage with the other viewers, and if you know anybody with an MPC X, please refer this channel to them. Now let's continue on with Chapter 7, Drum Kit Essentials. Our kit is now really shaping up, but there's a few essential tweaks we can perform to really get this kit set up sweetly. Using mute groups for open hats. A real hi-hat consists of two cymbals that sit on top of each other. When you hit the hat in the closed position, you get the type closed hi-hat sound. When a drummer separates the cymbals using the hi-hat pedal and strikes the top cymbal, the two hat cymbals vibrate together to produce the familiar open hat sound. Selecting the existing ShadowKit layered program, you can load up a copy from the Chapter 7 folder. If you play the open hat on pad A04 quickly, followed by the closed hat on A03, you'll hear that the open hat continues playing on top of the closed hat. This does not sound natural because in reality, this would not be possible. It's an either or situation. To simulate a more natural open to closed hi-hat operation, we can use pad mutes. The idea behind a pad mute is simple. The playback of one sample is instantly muted the moment another specific pad is played. There are actually a few ways this can be accomplished in an MPC, but at this stage I want you to look at the mute group method. So select the open hat on pad A04 and go to the Program, Edit, Global. The mute group parameter allows us to assign a pad to any one of 32 mute groups. Any pad assigned to the same mute group will always mute each other's playback, with the most recently played pad always taking playback priority. This is the same concept as the choke groups you find in other samplers such as machine and battery. Set the mute group for pad A04 to 1. Now select pad A03, the closed hat pad, and set this to mute group 1 as well. With the mute group set up, try hitting A04 followed by A03 and you'll instantly hear that the closed hat is muting the open hat for you. Suddenly, we have a much more realistic sounding hi-hat. Adding some internal effects. In addition to an extensive range of tweakable parameters found in a drum program, you'll find a vast collection of built-in effects. Effects that can be applied directly to the pads in your program. The first type of effects I want to look at are the dedicated drum effects. In Program Edit, press the Effects button twice. On this screen, we can apply up to 8 effects to each pad. The effects here use minimal CPU and are very easy to use. Double tap on the drum effects slot 1 at the top of the screen, ring mod. And you'll see that each slot can actually be configured to hold any one of 14 different drum effects types. But for the moment, let's just stick with the ones that Kai have pre-selected. What I want to do is give the clap some more grit and grime. And the best way to do this is to use drum effects such as bit crush, which emulates the lower bitrate sound found on vintage samplers. Decimator, which crushes and mangles, and tube drive, which adds distortion, just like a guitar distortion pedal. The effects on this page are the simplest effect plugins you'll ever use. There's no pages of parameters to tweak, no complicated GUI, which stands for Graphical User Interface, no need to have a degree in sound engineering, just one dial that will either increase or decrease the amount of effects applied to the sound. Let's add some bit crush. Tap on pad A06, our layered clap pad, then start increasing the bit crush. Amount by turning dial 3 clockwise. Alternatively, you can use Q6. Keep on tapping pad A06 while you turn the dial so you can hear how the bit crush effect is changing the sound of your clap. As you turn, the bitrate decreases, making your pad sound increasingly lo-fi. Set bit crush to 4.5 bits. Alright. Now select pad A01, our layered kick. This time, let's add some decimator. This will eventually add all sorts of warp nastiness to your pad, but at lower values, it's great for adding some grit. Set a decimator value of 3.3. You're free to add as many drum effects as you wish, so let's also apply some tube drive to our kick pad. Tube drive. Where's the tube drive? Oh, it's up here. Okay. Add high levels tube drive. Adding high levels of tube drive is similar to the kind of highly compressed sounding distortion you often hear on electric guitars. But at lower levels, it's great for adding some tube-like warmth to a kick. Don't go over the top here, just set a subtle amount of tube drive of 1.3. Drum effects are not only for adding grit, crunch, and distortion to your pads. Select pad A04, our open hat. This hat has quite a lot of bass frequencies, which makes sounds a bit muddy. Here, let's apply some high-pass filter. High-pass, which literally lives up to its name. This effect will filter the sound of the pad, only letting high frequency pass. I'm just going to stop there for a second, get a sip of water, say hello everybody. Welcome, welcome. If you're joining for the first time, what we're doing is we're taking a look at the MPC X and we're learning about it. If you know anybody with an MPC or an MPC X, please ask them to join this stream. We'll all learn together, build a little community where we can help each other and answer each other's questions and just have fun. On Sundays, I'll just be making a random beat just to show my progress, and every other day, 10 to 11 a.m., I'll be going through the MPC X Bible, just reading it pretty much verbatim and following along on the MPC X. And you can do so as well. Just purchase the MPC X Bible and download the tutorial files to your MPC X, and you can load them up and do the exact same thing I'm doing. We can all learn together. So yeah, let's continue on from where we were here. So with the pad A04, the closed hat is the same hat symbol. We'll just, okay, so start tapping A04 and begin increasing the high pass dial, dial 6. Until you reach a point where the muddy bass frequencies are no longer audible. But before you begin to make the hat sound too thin, I set mine to 686.7 Hertz. I have a hard time getting it to that amount exactly. I thought that if you held down shift and turned it, that you'd be able to Hmm. 686.7. I have a hard time getting it to that exact amount. As the closed hat is the same hat symbol, we'll just mirror the high pass filter setting for this pad as well. So set the high pass. I had it at 687. 686.7. Had no problem doing it on that one. Alright. The MPC actually contains a much more powerful set of filters, which we're going to look at later on in this course. So the MPC also ships with a huge suite of professional quality FX plugins, which are similar to VST plugins you may have used in a computer DAW. Hi Anne, thanks for joining. Thanks for jumping in the chat. So the MPC also ships with a huge suite of professional quality effects plugins, which are similar to VST plugins you may have used in a computer DAW. These offer much more power and flexibility, often coming with many different parameters that can be tweaked to achieve the exact sound you need. To access these effects plugins, press the drum effects button so it changes to read effects. Each pad in an MPC drum program can have up to 4 effects plugins inserted across it, and applying an insert effect to a pad is incredibly simple. Select the snare on pad A02 and single tap the insert 1 cell where it says 1, no effect. Now turn the data wheel clockwise and press or press the plus button, so whichever is more comfortable for you, to open up the select effect window. Here you can select any effect from the FX plugins pre-installed with your MPC. By default, this window just displays all the effects in a long alphabetical list, but I prefer to enable the 2 filtering options at the bottom of the screen, type and manufacturer. The internal FX plugins are now initially categorized by the type of effect, such as delay / reverb, dynamics, EQ / filter, etc. Tap on the harmonic category. Initially, you'll see we have 2 manufacturer categories of effects: Akai Professional and Air Music Technology. Expand the harmonic Air Music Technology group and select Air Diode Clip. Hit select and you'll be returned to the main effects screen, which now shows the effect you added to insert 1. Preview the snare on A02. Can you hear the difference? To toggle the current insert effect on and off, tap the on-off button at the end of the insert row 1. Listen to the snare pad with and without the diode clip effect. Repeat this several times so you start feeling comfortable hearing the difference. Okay, I hear it. The air diode clip effect is a type of distortion that can be used to give more grit or even extreme distortion to a sound. With its default settings, the air diode clip effect seems to add some subtle distorted harmonics and scoop out some of the mid-range frequencies of the snare. Tap the pencil icon on the insert 1 row to bring up the effect parameters for this plugin. Each effect comes with a selection of ready-made presets which you can use as is or as a nice starting point for your own custom effect settings. The default preset for any effect is Init. To change this, you can single tap Init and turn the data wheel or hit the plus minus buttons. Or you can even double tap to select a preset from the available preset list. Okay, gotcha. Init, I assume, stands for initial. It's like the initial setting for that effect, but as you can see, they have many other presets available, so you can choose any one you'd like. Now try all the presets to hear a range of different sounds you can get. Now select the Crunchy Drums preset. Okay, so we'll try it out with a few different presets. And then we'll set it to the Crunchy Drums. Okay. On this screen, you can completely bypass the effect by tapping on in the top right corner. So again, you can use this to compare your affected version to the unaffected original. The Crunchy Drums preset lives up to its name, providing more crunchy grit and really bringing out the harmonics in the snare. You can also tweak each individual parameter to get the exact sound you wish for the moment, let's just use this preset as it is. Tap on pad A6, the layered clap. We previously applied the bit reduced drum effects to this. Let's now add an insert effect. Double tap on the insert one slot, and in the delay reverb group, add the air music, air delay effect. This is a standard delay effect which adds echo to your signal. From the preset list, select the dull dub delay preset. This time, let's tweak the preset to create our own modified version. The first parameter I tend to reach for when working with Akai's delay and reverb effects is mix. This controls the ratio of dry, unaffected signal to the affected signal. A mix of 100% would be purely affected signal. 0% is completely dry, and hence should sound identical to the raw pad. The default mix of 50% for this patch is too much for my liking, so try reducing this down to around 10%. The default of 40% isn't too bad. I reduced it down to 33% to make it a little shorter and compact. I'm happy with the time here. This is similar to the time division settings we've seen in the sequencer, and 1/16 D gives a nice quick triplet feel delay. Sync on. Simply sync the delay time with your sequence tempo, and I mostly keep this turned on. If you turn this off, you'll have to manually set a time value in milliseconds. Oh, okay. You can set a time value in milliseconds. Oh, okay, I see. It switches automatically to milliseconds once you turn it off. Alright. The middle column of settings lets us control the stereo elements of this delay. If you listen to the clap on headphones, you can hear the delay effect is very wide. In fact, the width is set to the maximum of 100%. I've narrowed the width to 60% and adjusted the ratio, the right panning of the echo, to 86/100. Finally, reduce the damp parameter to take some of the high frequencies off the echo. I set mine to dampen frequencies above 2.61 kilohertz. We'll take a look at what reso means when we look deeper in the MPC filters section. Do you like this customized delay preset? If so, you could save it as a user effects preset. Simply tap on the disk icon at the top of the screen and give your preset a unique name, such as short dub delay. And we'll save that. Where did I save that to? I should have checked. Where's the default? Internal? Yeah, you don't want to be saving anything on internal. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, I should have saved it under my other internal drive that I added to it rather than the internal, because if you fill up that internal drive, it's going to cause problems for you. You're going to have to wipe it out, and it's not easy. It's a pain. I've done it already, so yeah. Just make sure you're taking a look at where you're saving things before you hit save. Lesson learned once again. Alright, so we're going to go back out here. So now we've got this short dub delay preset. Cool, cool, cool. Your MPC will automatically select the most suitable save location within the plugin presets folder on your internal drive. Simply hit save. The custom name should now be applied to the current settings on screen. I guess they're suggesting to save it to your internal drive, but okay. I don't think that's the way to go, but let's continue. Actually, I'm just going to take a quick 2-second break and take a sip of water. Hello everyone who's been able to join today until 11 a.m. learning about the MPC X. Sundays we'll be making a random beat. If you know anybody with an MPC or an MPC X is just getting started or would like to learn more in depth or follow along on the MPC X Bible, if you own it, this is the place to be. So if you can, donate, support, do whatever you can to ensure this channel can grow and become a better quality production. I've got 2 cameras now as of yesterday, so at least you can see my face now. Hello everyone. I'll figure out better lighting and camera angles in the future, and adding extensions to make the channel a little more exciting. So a little shout out to DJ Whisper 1984. Please go like and follow. He plays music. He was doing it yesterday, Thirsty Thursdays. He's also doing, I believe, tonight at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. and Saturday at 8 or 9 p.m. He's got some cool things going on his channel too, like hype trains, where if you hit his goal, he'll do a 24-hour DJ set, which is like, okay, wow, he's really putting in the time and the effort. So yeah, I gotta say shout out to him, and shout out to the new followers, Newbology and Daddy Renfrew. And shout out to my girl Annie Dose. Hey baby, love you. Alright, let's keep going. So this preset that we just created will also now be available to select from the preset list whenever you edit this particular effect. Presets are specifically tied to the effect you created it within. You'll find your own presets in the user group. There's a user group. Oh, I see. Okay, it's under user whenever you go in there, but there's all the other presets. You go down to user and then it'll have your specific setup. Too much space. I'm hoping it doesn't. Let's continue. We're getting down to the last 8 minutes of the stream for today, so I'll try and finish up this last little bit here, and then we'll continue on tomorrow. Alright, so exporting and loading preset files. To export a preset for use in another MPC or for distribution to other MPC producers, simply hit save again, and this time choose a location on your attached MPC disk, which is what I was suggesting. To load preset files that you have obtained from third parties, copy the preset file to your MPC disk, and from the effects settings page, hit the folder icon to load the XPL file. I should probably have maybe a little folder set up in here specifically for effects and presets, which I don't seem to have. Okay, I'll do that another time, and that way I can save all my custom presets in there. Alright, so we can easily add a second insert effect on this pad. Back in the main effects screen, double tap inside the Insert To box and add modulation. Air music technology, air phaser. Tap the pencil icon on the Insert To row to bring up the settings. A phaser adds a phased, sweeping movement to your sound. By adding after the delay, it will also add phased movement to the echo as well. Set up the following for a nice and subtle phasing effect on our clap. So we'll put that to 0.79 hertz. Change that to 31% depth. 0% feedback, and the mix we'll put at 15%. The model 90, offset 0 degrees, and it's on the phase setting. So I've changed the rate, depth, and mix settings. Here the rate controls how quickly the phaser moves across the sample. The depth controls how pronounced the phrase effect is. And the mix controls how much pure phase signal is mixed with the original unaffected signal. Hit pad A06 a few times and you should hear that the phrase acts slightly differently each time you hit the pad, giving the clap some subtle sound dynamic variances. If you increase the feedback setting here, which dictates how much of the phase signal is fed back into itself, you'll actually notice these changes become more obvious. Very cool. Okay, I see what you mean. Alright, well, I think we'll leave it here for today. We've only got 4 minutes left in the stream. Thank you for joining. I'm going to go back to the beat I made last Sunday, and we'll just close out with a few minutes of some music here. thank you again for joining. Please join again tomorrow at 10 to 11 a.m. Every single day we'll be here. All right, so I'm going to load that up. So yeah, 10 to 11 a.m. every day we'll be here. Please donate and subscribe, follow, whatever you can, and suggest it to your other friends that have an MPC so we can all learn and grow a community together around learning the MPC X. All right, and so... Thank you all. Much love. And I'll see you again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Oh yeah, one last thing. Please go follow and subscribe to DJ Whisper 1984. He was kind enough to have some of his followers join me here, and they followed me, so that would be much appreciated. DJ Whisper 1984. Thank you. So